What's up guys? In this video, I'll be going over all of the best weapons for each class in the finals, ones that you need to be using to get the most kills and rank up the fastest. I'll talk about a few guns from each. I'll start with light, medium, then I'll get to heavy. But real quick before we get into the video, if this does help you, please consider leaving a like and a comment. It helps out so much. I do weekly uploads of educational finals content, so if that's something you guys are interested in, make sure you subscribe. But yeah, let's just get into it. We're gonna start off with the light class, and the first and most obvious one that you guys probably already know is gonna be the double barrel shotgun. This gun is just so good right now. The burst damage that you can get from it is insane. You can 2-tap any class in the game, and if you can get a quick pick, then the fight's over before it even begins a lot of the times. There's a reason you see a lot of the top light players run this shotgun. It is just so effective. I really wouldn't be surprised to see it get nerfed soon. But right behind it, and honestly not too far behind, is going to be the XP54 SMG, the MP5. And like I said, this isn't too far behind the double barrel. This is also a really good gun. Sure, it doesn't have that super high burst damage potential to where you can get a kill before the other player can even react, but this thing has a lot of damage. The recoil is pretty easy to manage. It has a really good scope on it, quick reload times, decent TTK. It's just overall a really solid weapon. What it lacks in burst damage is definitely made up in the consistency and reliability of this gun. It's just so versatile. It works in a lot of different situations. You can melt people close range, and if you have decent aim and you know how to control the recoil, you can also melt people at medium and sometimes longer ranges. This is probably my favorite weapon in the light class. Sure, the double barrel is probably better, but I think the XP is way more fun. And then third in the light class, kind of like an honorable mention. It's not really meta, but it can still be a good pick if you're good at using the gun, and that's going to be the LH1. Now I put this on the list because there are players who will be able to get really good value out of this. It has insanely high damage potential if you have good aim and you know how to control the recoil, but I still think it's outclassed by the double barrel and the XP. But like I said, if you're a good player, you have good aim and you know how to control the recoil, this could be a fun gun to throw into the mix every now and then. But that's it for the light class. Next up, we're going to talk about the medium class. This one's kind of controversial because there's a lot of good picks in the medium class, but right now I do feel like the AK is just ever so slightly better than the FCAR, because like I mentioned in my last video, it has a much higher damage potential per magazine. You have 16 more shots in the AK than you do in the FCAR, but that doesn't mean that the FCAR is bad at all. The FCAR is still a really good gun. It has better TTK. It has that red dot sight on it, which makes it a little bit easier to aim at a distance. And if you have a lobby that has a lot of light and medium players, this thing absolutely shreds them. Especially if you have good aim, you could make the FCAR work in any situation. For all of you aimers out there, this is probably going to be the gun that you want to use. The only real downside is that it does have kind of a small magazine. There's only 20 shots in it, which means that you have to make each bullet really count. And that's why I said players with good aim could get really good value out of this weapon. But as I've said before, I do think the AK is just ever so slightly better. And then third place, honorable mention, I have to throw in the Magnum. This gun's not meta by any means, but that doesn't mean it's not usable at all. If you do have good aim, you could get a ton of value out of this gun. The headshot damage multiplier is insane. You can almost 1-tap a light, you can 2-tap mediums, and you can 3-tap heavies, which is very rare, but if you do have that good aim, it's possible to put out a ton of damage with this gun. And finally, for the heavy class, the best weapon that I think to use at the moment is going to be the Lewis gun. Now, if you would have asked me this a week or so ago, before the new patch came out, I would have said the shotgun for sure, but the shotgun did get a very slight nerf. It's definitely not bad by any means at all. It's still an insane weapon, but I think it makes the Lewis gun just ever so slightly better because you do get that extra range. You do get a pretty good magazine size. The recoil isn't insane. It's a little bit harder to control at medium to long ranges, but at close ranges, this thing's easy to control and it absolutely shreds. And then second, like I already said, is going to be the shotgun, and this could be a better choice for you depending on your playstyle. If you are running a shield and dome and you like to get up close and in their face, then sure, the shotgun's probably going to be better for you. This thing shreds people when you're like barrel stuff range like no other gun, but I do feel like the Lewis gun is a little bit more versatile, but either of them will work. An honorable mention is going to be the M60. I had to pick another gun because I picked honorable mentions for the other two classes. However, in this case, I probably wouldn't use the M60 too much because the Lewis gun just feels like a much better version than it, but I think this thing shreds a little bit more at close range. But once you get past the really close range, the recoil is insane. It's so hard to control, and that's why I think the Lewis gun is better. The recoil is a little bit easier. It still does a lot of damage, but it's just overall more versatile than the M60. But yeah, that's pretty much going to cover it for today's video. If you guys want to improve, you want to get more kills, and you want to rank up the fastest, make sure to use the guns that I talked about in this video. It's going to make your life much easier, and it'll make you a much better player. If you guys have any questions or you have any opinions on other weapons, please leave them down in the comments below. If you guys want to see more helpful finals content in the future, make sure you subscribe. I upload weekly. And if you guys want to see me play live, the link to my Twitch is down below. I stream a few times a week. Anyways, I'm going to wrap it up here. I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a great rest of your day. Peace.
I got him.